Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I have a question for you. What if your price target for XRP isn't big enough? What if you're not bullish enough? I mean, honestly, I kind of wonder sometimes if I'm not. The approach that I take is I just want to live in reality, okay? I want to believe as many true things in life as possible. I want to be as grounded as possible. And what I've found is, being an XRP holder for almost 7 years, is that there are more than enough reasons to be genuinely very excited about XRP price action. There's way more than there would need to be, frankly. There's so much going on within our XRP ecosystem, our community, the developer community, everything, right? I don't doubt that for a second here. But I also don't want to get way ahead of myself, because there are some people that I just think some of the price predictions they put out are just completely Looney Tunes. Like talking about $10,000 XRP this cycle, this stuff. You lose me. You lose me. If you're in fact, and it doesn't mean that I hate these people necessarily if they genuinely believe it. I just think that it's bonkers. But if somebody's talking this cycle about like 3 or 4 digit XRP this cycle, I'm lost. I'm out. I'm just out. Now, if you're talking about like 3-digit XRP at some unknown point in the future, if you're talking about truly mature asset class, then I'd say, okay, yeah, that doesn't sound crazy over a prolonged period of time. It's certainly very possible that XRP could be worth over $100 at some unknown point in the future. But what about for this cycle? So I thought what I'd do just for fun is share with you some price targets I've seen from just several different XRP chart analysts out there that I think are on. I think they're high. Like, to me, subjectively, I think they're really high targets. But these are targets that, although high, I don't think are batshit crazy. I don't. It's going to be stuff that, yes, truly high. It doesn't even mean that I'm convinced necessarily it's probable we're going to hit them, but it's safely, in just my personal opinion, we're all entitled to our opinions, in my humble opinion, it's close enough to what I would consider to be sufficiently grounded in reality. And in fact, some of the higher price targets, it doesn't even mean, like, I've seen this from all sorts of reputable analysts that I follow. They'll say, okay, this is the upper end, but I'm not convinced that it's probable it's going to hit here, but fine, if you have, a different, this so-and-so fib level hit, okay, it could happen. Like, okay, that's fine. Like, I think that's reasonable. If they're saying, could hit this high, don't think it's probable. Sure, I'm totally down with that. So let's talk about a few of those just for fun. I thought, just in light of the fact that XRPs are running the last couple days, it does kind of get you thinking, like, where could this thing ultimately go? And that's why I thought, let's just make a fun video and talk about this. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So first, I thought I'd start by sharing this post I wrote on X just the other day. Reads as follows. Almost 100% of chart analysts who say XRP won't hit a new high and go on a massive bull run this cycle have a multi-year history of irrationally hating on XRP. Their XRP derangement syndrome is a peculiar bias, and it bleeds into their analysis clearly. Almost all unbiased/neutral chart analysts I come across believe XRP is going to melt faces this cycle. How about that? So who's right? The analyst with a track record of despising XRP, or everyone else? I think that's a good question, right? And it's actually interesting too, because even some of the analysts out there who hate XRP, if they're intellectually honest, they'll say, gee, I just looked at the chart and I bought it anyway. Like, I've seen some of that too, and I've highlighted it when I've come across it on my channel from time to time because I find it kind of amusing. And at least I'm just like, okay, you have bad reasons to hate XRP, but even you acknowledge it's primed. I'm like, okay, so you're being real with your audience at least. I can respect that for sure. Now, chart analyst Dr. Magic responded to that. He's actually had 2 responses. Here's the first one. It's an XRP USD chart. He drew a trend line here, and he wrote, 6-month chart, enough said. He is saying, via this chart, if that's where you draw the trend line, then this mofo is out of it, right? It's already broken to the upside. Then he wrote this. He said, fellas, if you come across, he actually reposted me. He was kind of echoing what I said. He said, fellas, if you come across accounts posting that XRP is dead and it won't make new all-time highs again, know that they are biased or they don't understand charts. Many of us say the breakout of a 7 years pattern is imminent. Well, it depends on what the F you are looking at. On 6 month, it has already broken out. On 3 month, it is imminent. On 1 month, It is close. My point is, market is ready for parabolic price action, and this chart doesn't indicate to me that XRP is going to underperform. Quite the opposite. Find another coin that looks like that, and I will happily buy tons of it. See you at double digits. And so look, I am unaware, maybe it's happened, I am unaware of a coin in the history of crypto that has consolidated literally for coming up on 7 years. Maybe there's something I'm just unaware of, but most coins don't even have the possibility of doing that because they're far newer than that. Like most of them have existed just a few years, right? So it's just incredible because the longer something consolidates, when it pops, the greater the force. And in this case, we're in a bull market, so take it for what it's worth. There's this post from chart analyst Crypto Insight UK. And so I do have, from the rest of the analysts in the video, they actually have high price targets. This one, it's not a specific number, but I thought I'd share it anyway. And so Crypto Insight UK wrote, want a Moonboy XRP chart? Well, actually, yes, I do. Here's one I've not seen people talk about. There is only one other time in the history of XRP that we have seen the same setup from the stochastic RSI on the market cap of XRP. Both the velocity of the bullish cross and from where this occurred. So again, take it for what it's worth, but compare this to what happened in 2017. In chart analyst eGrid Crypto, he replied to that and he said, even this time is lower and steeper, and Crypto Insight UK responded, yeah, man, so he certainly agrees. So if anything, it could certainly be more aggressive. Now, in terms of price action, I don't mean that necessarily in terms of multiplier effect or percentage gains, but certainly in terms of dollar. Yeah, by the time this is done, this is going to be the greatest dollar increase in XRP that we've seen in history. Now, that's just my guess. I don't know that, of course, and I'm not making an actual prediction. I'm just telling you what I suppose is most likely to occur because I don't know, and I'm always upfront about that. There's this post, and I shared this at the end of one of my videos recently, but I wanted to share it a little bit earlier in the video just to kind of highlight the point. There's this analyst named Max. He's at Max Because Bitcoin. He also has a YouTube channel. And he shared this post where he said, and this is from September 16th, I bought a lot of XRP today. Never in a million years would I have thought this would be the case, but the charts never lie. And then he highlighted he was working on a TA video, which, by the way, is here. I'm happy to share this. I actually watched this whole thing. It's a little over a half hour long. XRP, the beach ball underwater, which I think is a pretty good way to describe it. You can try and keep that bitch underwater for as long as you want, but eventually it's going to pop to the surface. Just saying, man. It was a great video. It really was fantastic. And his channel is called Because Bitcoin. So in the video, and I wasn't sure of this before watching this because the way he wrote, he's like, I never thought I'd buy XRP. That's if he didn't literally, I'm paraphrasing, but it's on your screen. But in the video, he absolutely acknowledged the fundamental value of XRP and how it has utility, it's functionally useful. So he's not an XRP hater. Maybe it's just because based on charts for much of the last, nearly decade at this point, charts haven't looked so hot, in which case I'd say, okay, fair enough. Although I still blame the SEC for a lot of that. But he's being a realist about this. He's not some sort of troll or hater. He just is like, wow, I didn't think that this would be the case, but the charts don't lie. And I respect that for sure. And so I wanted to note, and if you want the rest of his analysis, go check out his video, but he noted like XRP, he thinks it's very reasonable to actually hit $26. And he's not the only, and he cited a fib level. There's all sorts of reasons why. So again, if you want the technical analysis, go to his channel. I don't want to regurgitate it. That's not the purpose of this channel. But that's one more analyst who is calling for something that I would say subjectively to me anyway, that's a high price target. But I do not think that's crazy. It could happen. And so if you're talking about that type of level or anything even a little bit higher, it depends on how high the rest of the crypto market goes. Like if way more money flows into Bitcoin, then sure, then I would think it would be more probable. So most of the analysts that I follow think that Bitcoin's going to end up somewhere, and it leads the market, so it's important that Bitcoin would top somewhere maybe around $150,000, right? For instance, Credible Crypto, I think he's among the best, and that's his sweet spot. He thinks Bitcoin rather maybe around 150 grand for the peak, but he acknowledges if certain extensions are hit, could go as high as $300,000. Now he does not think that's probable, but what if it does go up to 250,000 or 300,000? Well, if that happens, even if improbable, and I'll even acknowledge, okay, it could. I also don't think that's probable. But if it does, that much more money flows into XRP. So if that happens, that's when I'm saying, if you're thinking about $26 XRP happening in the cycle, or even a little higher, it's not crazy, but you would need something like that. And so it is within the realm of possibility, but we're at the edge of what I think is even remotely rational if you get a little bit higher than this. But yeah, I admit, like, that's not crazy. It's not my base case. It's not what I would necessarily assume is going to happen. But it's fun to think about. And again, it's not crazy. You say $100, $1,000 this market cycle, I'm out. Nope. Wash my hands of that. I'm out. Nope. But if you're talking about this cycle, like at that or a little higher, sure, that's not crazy. And chart analyst JD agrees. Here he wrote, XRP, this would be my moon boy top scenario. He says, I'll take majority of my profits way before then, but have a moon bag in case this plays out. Yeah, I think that's perfectly reasonable. And you can see where he's pointing to. The very tippy top here would be about $32 for XRP. That is not crazy. I don't think it's necessarily the most probable, and that's why, and he clearly doesn't either. That's why he called it a moon boy top scenario. But that's fair. I think that's fair, right? And again, it's contingent upon way, way, way more money flowing into Bitcoin than what most of the reputable analysts that I follow think is likely. If the unlikely happens and way more money flows in, then you could have a scenario like this. Yes, that could happen. We've seen things like this in crypto over the years. Here's the highest expectation that I have in this video that I don't think is batshit crazy. This is from Stefan. And he wrote, this is an XRP USD chart. He said, XRP is currently trading at the peak of this major triangle pattern. Get ready for a huge breakout. And he's citing $40. Now, I'll say one more time, I do not think this is probable. That's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. If you think it's probable, you're entitled to that. That's fine. I'm just saying it's not outside the realm of possibility, but you really get into the edge of what I think could remotely be reasonable. That's all I'm saying here. But it could. For the reasons I've been citing throughout this video, I'm trying to hammer a point home here just to be super duper crystal clear so nobody takes me out of context or something like that. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I don't even think it's the most probable. I'm just saying, okay, if it does, I'll be like, yeah, okay. That was unlikely, but the unlikely occurred. That would be awesome. Now, I'll have sold all of my XRP well before that because that would be an outsized portion of my net worth. I'm not even going to risk it. But for anybody else that does ride XRP that high, if given the opportunity, I will be absolutely cheering you on, still making videos. Even if I sold all my XRP, I'll still be making videos on this channel. And then, of course, I'd buy back in once the market crashes, because inevitably, once you get a bubble like that for me, of course, it's going to pop. But then I'd buy back in lower, and I'd do it all over again, and I'd hang out with you guys for another several years until the next cycle and just keep doing that, because the opportunity is not going to go away. There's also this post from the Crypto Basic, and they were sharing perspective from chart analyst Greg Crypto. And just for the sake of time, I'm not going to read the article, but they were highlighting perspective from him. Here's the headline: XRP to skyrocket 888% to $31. Analyst pinpoints crucial level. And that's also not crazy. Again, it's well within the realm of what we're talking about here. It could happen. Again, there have been runs like that in crypto. There's enough money on the planet to make that happen, way more than we need to make that happen. It's just a question of if. Sure. Then there's this headline from the Crypto Basic. Expert says XRP to rip higher as it attempts bullish breakout 6 times in 2 months. And they're sharing this perspective from chart analyst Javon Marks. Now, I will tell you, he has some expectations this market cycle that I just think are way too far out in the realm of possibility. Like, you're talking 3-digit XRP this cycle. You lose me. You do. I don't think everything he says is wrong, but when you say stuff like that, I'm just like, I feel like I'm wasting my time. I'm just being honest with you. I don't mean that as an offense. And if he's right, I'll give him all the credit in the world. So this is not an attack. I'm just sharing my honest opinion. I'll be happy to eat my own words and give credit if this happens, because I'd love to see that. I really would. I just don't think it's remotely reasonable. You have lost me at that point. If you're talking 3 digits this cycle, and I think it's not going to happen. I think there's about a 0% chance. Happy to be wrong. I'm wrong from time to time. I'm just telling you what my gut's telling me here. And based on historic action within the world of crypto, it just something like this would just be like it's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. But here's what he wrote. And I don't disagree with every perspective that he has. I think he's reasonable on a number of fronts, just not the upper end of what he's talking about price-wise. But he said, XRP has attempted a bullish breakout about 6 times or more since late July 2024, and with signals pointing towards a return back above $2 to $3, a holding and sustained breakout may be a matter of time and closer than many think. At any moment, we can see XRP completely rip higher, sparking an extreme level of growth that many have been long waiting. Okay, so that particular post is fair, but then you can see this one from September 11th where he shared this XRP USD chart, and he's saying maybe on this upper end you're looking at like $259 XRP, and I'm like, nope, ain't happening. About a 0% chance, ain't happening. 99.9999999% repeating, like that's it, ain't happening. Again, happy to be wrong. Nothing against him. He seems like a nice dude. I agree with him on a bunch of stuff. On this, I do not. I think that is way too out there. For this cycle specifically. I'm not saying XRP, if wildly successful over a very long time period, way down the road, could reach 3 digits. I acknowledge that could happen. I would love to see that happen. I hope I'm alive to see that. That would be fantastic. This cycle, it's not happening. Sorry, not sorry. Then there's this headline. I'm not going to even read this article. Expert explains why an XRP price of $1,000 is not a fantasy. Nope, spoiler alert, it's a fantasy. It's not happening. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. It's not happening this cycle. Ain't happening. No, no, and no. Absolutely not. I don't know. Like, some people I know they're doing it for hype reasons. Those are the people that piss me off. If they don't believe it, but they're saying it because they know it gets clicks, that pisses me off. If they genuinely believe it, I just think they're deeply misguided, in which case, okay, I can still respect you as a person. That's fine. I just disagree. But I can't know for sure in many cases, but a lot of times when I see this, I have a strong inclination to believe these people are absolute bullshitters. That I absolutely despise and I have no tolerance for. $1,000 is not happening. Somebody needs to tell you. I mean, if you're one of the people that thought maybe that could happen, or maybe you're just new to crypto and you're kind of wondering, let me tell you. I'm being intellectually honest. I have nothing to sell you. It doesn't matter to me on a personal level what happens with your finances. Like, that's up to you. I'm not telling you what to do. I do not believe this is remotely reasonable. No, it's not happening. But we don't need this wacky stuff to achieve incredible life-changing wealth. We simply do not. You know, if you're talking about going up to, for a lot of people, even $10, it'd be like, yeah, that's like winning the frickin' lottery. We don't need $1,000. It's not happening. Stop it. So even so, I acknowledge perhaps my particular target, maybe my target, and what I think is probable, maybe it's not big enough. And I do find myself asking, even $10, is that too conservative? And I don't know, but I think it's a reasonable question for me to ask myself, and maybe you're asking yourself the same thing. Maybe we're not bullish enough. But we're going to find out together. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.